listening to the Kyle Mackie Podcast. Let's get this show started.
Have you ever found it hard to juggle multiple projects without getting overwhelmed? Or struggled to stay motivated once money was no longer the driver? Maybe you feel like you're missing the sales skills that could take you to the next level. Well, if you've ever had these questions in your head, then you're in for a special treat. Today marks the first ever guest episode of the Kyle Mackie Podcast. I'm sitting down with my friend and business partner, Bhavik Dave, an entrepreneur who's built marketing agencies, launched restaurants, invested in real estate, and somehow keeps stacking on projects without losing his mind. We're diving into what he does, how he does it, and what actually motivates him, and how you can apply the same mindset and principles to your own journey. So thank you so much, Bhavik, for being here today. Let's jump straight into this, allowing the audience a chance to get to know who you actually are. And so for those who don't know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about where your journey started and what brought you to where you are today?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. And journey all started, actually, I come from India, and I came as an international student in Australia back in 2006, where it all started. And it was a fresh start for me. I was young, 18 years old, just came out of school and was being sent to Australia to study. And I had dreamed to become a business person and a businessman from the beginning itself, because I have a family background coming from the business and stuff, and that's what led me. And I started as an international student, and it wasn't easy coming as an international student, struggling with day-to-day lives, face, and juggling with the jobs and everything. But one thing I learned is patience in Australia when I landed, and that's what I thought was a key for me to become successful. Or at the end of the day, my first job was a face-to-face fundraiser in Australia. And what face-to-face fundraiser taught me is where I am right now. I can be very blunt, honest. It taught me patience. It taught me communication skills. It taught me how to learn the new things, new ideas, because what we do day in, day out for face-to-face fundraising is talking to people. And that led me to finish off my studies and continued my path of doing fundraising, and then growed across now 4 countries and running multiple charity clients, doing face-to-face fundraising, and on the sidelines I love doing businesses and stuff. And that is where I started, I would say. Yeah.
Right. That obviously is quite the journey to get you to where you are today. You mentioned multiple times in that first little overview about patience. What is it specifically about patience that you feel has, or what lessons have you gotten from patience, and what has it allowed you to get to where you are today?
Well, patience for me is like learning the process. Like often humans, when they're learning the new processes, because when I came, as I mentioned, I just passed out my year 12 and I came to Australia. And for me to learn the process, adapt to the new country, I've never been overseas in my life as well before I came to Australia. So learning the processes was a big thing for me. And not losing a temperament, keeping a temper level at always a constant level, that actually helped me a lot to learn the patience and the process. Because as I mentioned, meeting new people, learning the process, and trying to understand how to adapt those situations and how to go through those situations and keeping yourself in that situation. Because I always admired as I said, when I came in Australia, I've seen so many multiple people doing businesses and their successes and stuff. But what face-to-face fundraising taught me is knowing people and learning from people. That is where I would say my key success is, that because when you're doing fundraising, you meet on an average 20, 30 people where you'll have a good conversation in the entire day. But what you get out of it is the experience, learning from different nationality of people, talking to different people with the different skill sets and stuff. And applying it in your way, that okay, how can you be better
Right.
every day, and how can you continue yourself to push your limits.
Right.
And what I studied was IT, and it has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. So, but as I said, always career path is something what I believe is whatever comes in your path, and if you're good at it,
Hmm.
continue it. And make sure that you're trying to be more finer and finer with what you do, and that's where your skills comes to, that you're good in communicating with people, you're good in trying to more understand more people.
Right.
That made me to actually, you can say, the whole process to be easier. And at the end of the day, it's not about it is about experience, but it's about how you implement that experience. People
Right.
do often misjudge that, oh, I have this much of experience, why am I not getting promoted? Or
Hmm.
people do have those problems in life, that why am I not getting promoted? When I was a fundraiser, I was never promoted for a year and a half,
Right.
where people have come junior than me, have done well, and they have become team leader. And often I have worked with the people who have trained on their day one, and they are my team leader.
Yeah.
But I took it as a challenge. I took it as something where I feel that I need to learn and get better.
Right.
I used to always never get back down with that what is my loss. But every loss, as I said, every failure is a learning process. That how can I be better? How can I never had a jealousy of anyone, that which made me feel that, oh, why that person is superior or a team leader than when I am the one who is more experienced in this job.
Right.
But what I took it as experience versus learning, and how to become finer in whatever you do in life. Life throws you so many challenges, and we know it's not just one work is the problem, but the personal life and family and other financial issues where you need to tackle and stuff. And that's what I thought, that I'm not falling apart anywhere, but learning from these things
Hmm.
got me actually more better. Yeah.
So you spoke about learning there a lot. What specific actions did you take to keep furthering your learning in, all the different facets of your life? Was there a sign? Did you always go to take different courses? Did you read books? Did you look at other people for role models and examples? What was your choice of action to improve learning and continuing to grow?
If I be honest, first of all, I don't read books, and I hate reading. That's something which if I want to go to bed, I would read something so I can sleep
Fair enough.
nicer.
Fair enough.
So, but practical way of living life, that's what it's me. Like, if I tell myself right now, I don't plan ahead things. I do have a vision that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I
Mhm.
like to do. But when I said learning is not just given a job, a task that, okay, you can do successfully.
Right.
What can be the next step? I always try to see the third and the fourth step of my life. I just don't, if I'm doing something like a fundraising, for example, where I started my career,
Yeah.
I thought of that, where can I take this to? The role models I had was my coach, I can
Right.
tell you, because at the end of the day, he was the one who backed me up always to say that you can do more better.
Mm-hmm.
He never appreciated me. He did say when I did well, but at the end of the day, he can say you still have your limits. You haven't reached your limits.
Right.
And again, comes back to your family, because I told you that every part of your life will have a problem: personal problem, work problem, education. I have to tackle three things at the same time.
Right.
So you need to also have a mental strength from your family support as well, which I always got it.
Right.
The friends which I made in my life are the best friends, I would say. And one thing, as I said, in the learning is public
Right.
relationship, because that's most important. Uh, because people will judge you with what you are. People will judge you with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, there will be people who might not like you, but what I believe is not breaking the relationship with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what my strength is. When my family or any friend of mine stays, I'm the person people will call me, have you talked to him? Because they know that I will be in touch with that person.
Right.
And that not just in personal life, but in work or in business or in anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel, that learning people and knowing people will make you more better.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, any business or any work or anything you see, you have to deal with humans.
Right.
And if you're good at dealing with humans, or if you're good with your impression that, okay, give that positive vibes whenever you're around, that way you will learn the entire process of knowing people.
Mm-hmm.
And also you'll understand that how to manage people. That's another thing.
Right.
And again, my strength, I would say, is managing with the patience, not losing the temper.
Right.
Like, I don't remember when I was angry last time, you
Yeah.
know? So that's, my even family says that, why you don't get angry?
Right.
Even my wife still says, you are from other planet.
Fair
So,
enough.
yeah, that's what I say the passion taught me, that work lead me to places,
Right.
work lead me to meet new people, and passing the positivity and keeping it a conversation, as someone should not feel that you're trying to take a benefit. That is me, I would say, at the end of the day.
So obviously I can tell how important relationships are to you and the people in your life. It also sounds like that is sort of your process for learning. So what would you say is one of the biggest lessons you've learned from a person in your life?
If you're talking about biggest person, I would say my wife, my mom are the closest to me.
Mhm.
And mom has taught me how to deal with people,
Right.
because I know how she is important when it comes to family relations and stuff. And my dad has taught me patience.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of 2 to 3 things which I try to get the positive things from each individual.
Right.
And I know my strength at the end of the day. So dealing with people doesn't fear me. Dealing with people, that meeting new people at the end of the day doesn't fear me, because I know I would learn something new
Right.
from any person who I meet. Even if it's a first day, someone I'm training at my restaurant, or someone I'm training at my fundraising job, or any other real estate or whatever I'm doing. So learning from someone makes me more hunger,
Right.
like meeting new people. And if that answers, yeah.
Yeah, I think it sort of answers the question. You talked about, your parents giving you the different strengths
Yeah.
and that's where you learned from, which makes a lot of sense. I think a lot of people do learn from
Yeah.
their family. Has there been anybody that, other than your parents, because obviously they're the ones who raised you, is there anyone later in life that has helped teach you anything that's helped you in your
Well,
more
during my job,
recent times?
during my job process, as I said, my coach was my role model. And
Yeah.
I always, as I said, I used to see him as a great salesperson.
Mm-hmm.
And her personality, I can still say that I don't have a great personality like what he has still.
Mm-hmm.
And how he influences people, how he makes people more passionate and stuff. And that is
Right.
what I feel that I learned, but I didn't become more finer and finer, because at the end of the day, it's a human gift.
Right.
That you have some strength and you can learn from someone, but you cannot adapt everything.
Right.
But I know my strength at the end of the day is trying to keep the relationship healthy with any person who I am with, anywhere I am with. And I don't see anywhere right now, if you ask me, who is your enemy, I don't have anyone, I
Yeah.
feel. And as I said, in business, there will be business competitors and stuff, but they all are friends in a way. In
Right.
the entire industry where I am right now with restaurants or fundraising or anything, I wouldn't say that anyone is my enemy.
Right.
And that's what actually makes me feel people doesn't feel that I'm trying to get benefit out of that.
Right.
And yeah, and things goes on because you meet people and you learn. The thought process is a big thing as well, that how you digest someone's attitude,
Right.
because opposite person who you're talking to sometimes might be with different attitude or different mindset or something. How do you learn from that, and you keep yourself in his shoe and try to
Right.
see that how to make it work? Some business relationships and stuff which I have built it, I have just built on the trust. I've built on the conversations. You
Right.
can say, let's do this. So yeah, I would say that.
Specific to one of the last things you said there, you said you're able to put yourself in their shoes. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with, to look at it from that different perspective of what that individual is going through. How do you go through the process of doing that? Is there any specific actions you take, or is it just something that you've slowly gotten better at over the years?
I think experience took me, like doing face-to-face fundraising taught me so many things, again, I'm saying as well. But answering to your question, firstly, you need to understand the human.
Mm-hmm.
Either if it's your brother or sister or wife or husband or uncle, whoever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Once you understand that person, it becomes easier for you to deal. Like for an example, if you're traveling, I'm sure you must have traveled,
Yeah.
and you must have met people who you think that, okay, became the fastest friend, and at least it was good 3, 4, 5 days spending time and stuff.
Definitely.
It doesn't happen often, but how I make it work with each individual, or most of the times which I'm successful doing it, is understanding them and taking their faults. Like, let's say I do meet people that, okay, I feel our wavelengths are not matching.
Yeah.
But for me to make that relationship work, I have to make that frequency. I have to manage that frequency of the conversation. And you need to bend as well. As I said, relationship is not always a straight line. It is always a curveball.
Right.
And when you understand someone that, okay, there are employees sometimes who wants to do their thing, what they want to do.
Right.
But often you need to make sure that what is the borderline. And once you know that person, so how I do it is I try to be with them. I try to make them feel that I'm with you.
Right.
I understand you and this is your situation and stuff, but how can we tackle it? So I try to first be with them and bring them back
Right.
to what we can do together better.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is about. And the business or personal life or anything, that would make you someone to be talking heart to heart.
Right.
And that's what I do. Like whoever I get close to or become a friend or anything, we love talking heart to heart.
Right.
There should be no boundaries. That's what I feel in relationship, because when you have a relationship with condition, it's a
Right.
conditional relation.
Right.
So there would be, like, people do have their personal life and personal things and stuff, which some of them don't like to share and stuff. It's
Mhm.
okay. That's them. You cannot change someone. But what you can do is, if they have any issues and stuff, try to talk, try to melt them down, and try to be with them.
Mhm.
And that's what I feel that I do most of the time with dealing with anyone.
So ultimately what I'm getting from there is it's about actually trying to create deeper relationships and trying to move on from like the superficial relationship
Yeah.
as quickly as possible, in however way it works for that individual person. Obviously it's going to be different for every person that you meet, but the quicker you can break down those boundaries and those walls and get a deeper relationship, it just allows you to know that person that much better.
Yeah. And as I said, I'm like, if I'm saying that's my strength, and it's not like I've always been successful doing that. There were times that, okay, I want to do something, but the opposite person, I'm not able to match that frequency. So
Right.
at the end of the day, there are lives you have to give it up and keep going, and
Yeah.
you can't put your hand on your head and say, oh my God, this doesn't work out. Or
Yeah.
this didn't do it. So there are other opportunities or other relationships or other things, what you want to do in your life, it will come in your path.
Yeah.
How you take it positivity, how you take it from your perspective and understand their side, what they want in life, and how they want to build that relationship, whether if it's a personal or work related or anything. You need to make sure that way. And that's what I do. I tell my each employees in any businesses that don't treat me like a boss.
Yeah.
And that's true. Everyone respects that, but they know that I am the boss. I run the restaurants or any other businesses and stuff, but they know that if anything I want,
Yeah.
I can go and tell him. And I can tell you that it's not one, but more than 50 people who I know their personal life in and out.
Right.
Why they come is because, as I said, that heart to heart connection.
That's amazing that you're able to get that deep and close with that many people.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you did say sometimes getting closer with people can be challenging, but obviously you have other challenges in your life as well, I would assume at least. What would you say have been some of the biggest challenges you've faced along the way?
See, challenges is something which will be today and it will be forever.
Mm-hmm.
You have to accept those challenges. And for me to come as an, as I said, international student and where I am right now, I'm grateful to my efforts and the people who I've got.
Right.
And how to get rid of those challenges, I would like to talk that more, as I said, because once you build the relationship with people around you,
Mm-hmm.
that would take away your challenges. People
Right.
often say, oh, I have these challenges and stuff, I have these things. People often talk about problems, but people don't resolve don't think about solution faster. That, okay, if I'm having a fight with you, I would rather think negative more that I have these problems. But have you ever asked yourself that? Have you asked your friend that I had a fight with that person?
Mm-hmm.
I want to resolve it. People will always whinge that, oh, this person is not good, this is this quality and stuff. So I rather see it, challenges will always be there.
Right.
But how do you overcome those challenges is accepting it that first of all it will be there,
Mm-hmm.
and try to simplify the situations. Don't make any matter too long that it will stay in your mind,
Right.
which will hurt your entire day or weeks or months or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's gone, it's gone. Like, I don't fear of losing anything. That's my big thing. Because if I can make myself to reach to that level,
Yeah.
I can do it again. Like people with sports, when they are able to break some records, they try to go to the next level.
Right.
And that's what challenges are. If you simplify the word challenge, is overdoing it and try to make sure that you don't fear of falling. And any business, or it's a fear.
Right.
I do question myself that started fundraising business, coming from international student background and stuff, doing it in Australia, it was a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But simplifying the process started from small team of 4 people,
Mm-hmm.
that how to grow, have the vision always. But if you know those 4 people are with you, you can multiply with 8.
Right.
And that's how I overcome challenges with anything. Example, the restaurant business in Indonesia. I don't speak the language. And I thought that was the biggest challenge.
Does seem like it'd be a big challenge for sure. Yeah.
That I feel that was the biggest challenge. But as I said, I thought if I can do anything to human to build that relationship, I would
Mhm.
learn that as a challenge.
Right.
Because the mentality and thinking of different countries, I'm sure you believe it's all different.
Yeah.
People,
Definitely.
the culture difference and stuff, it's different. And coming from India, as I said, it's completely different to live in the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
But going back again to Indonesia, I thought like, how can I do this? But I had a vision that fundraising is something, first of all, which I started in Indonesia.
Yeah.
That I can do it, I'm able to do it, and I'm successful. Why not to branch out to something where I can be more successful? So I accept the challenge always,
Right.
but I stick to my plan that if this falls, I'm not going to move my vision away.
Yeah.
Because the moment you start drifting yourself away, your mind will not think positive. And that's how, to be honest, challenge for me is a constant word will always be there.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, accepting that challenge makes me more stronger. Yeah.
That's very cool. Now, obviously, you did say something a moment ago. I can't remember the exact wording, but where if you sort of do give up, has there been a moment where you have come close to quitting, or have you quit at a certain project? And if so, what was the tipping point that made you realize that that's not the venture to continue down the path?
Yes, there was a moment in 2009 when I thought of quitting fundraising
Mm-hmm.
because I was not performing. I
Right.
was on zero donors signing up for almost 2-3 weeks.
Wow.
That was a rough patch for me, and I was doing decent. I was never a great performer. As I said, it took me a while to become a team leader.
Yeah.
But I was a consistent performer. For me, that time in 2009, I thought that this is not working out. And then there was a pressure of exams.
Mm-hmm.
There was a pressure of not performing. So it was hurting mentally to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, let's try something else, because I was surrounded by many good friends at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you should do some other job as well. Why don't you try something else? So I did apply for something in other sector, and I was selected as well. Everything went well. And I was almost going to tell my coach I'm going to quit.
Right.
And I almost even signed a contract as well with them. I remember. Did the induction training as well. And then I was on Monday going to tell where I was doing fundraising and say I'm going to quit because I got the other job.
Right.
Luckily, I got a call before that saying that the position is no longer. Because the campaign I was supposed to do something in digital didn't work out for some reason. I don't know. They didn't tell me that. So they told me that position is no longer and we are sorry.
Right.
At that time, I was having lunch. And then I told myself, this is a sign. I should not quit what I am doing.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I wrote on the piece of paper myself, I remember, that I will never quit fundraising because this is a sign. And that late afternoon, my coach visited me and had a word with me regarding my performance, what's going on, and this is not you.
Right.
So I said, this is the last conversation I'm having with you regarding performance. And I changed my mindset, and after that, I became a team leader.
Oh, that's really cool. So that was the tipping point for having people below you keep moving ahead. That was the point where you started to move yourself forward.
And after that, as I said, I started accepting anything which is thrown to me as fun. I was given a task to work from 9 o'clock morning to 8 o'clock evening. And I took it. I said, if money is coming, I'm growing, I'm learning new things,
Mm-hmm.
why not? So that actually, as I said, was my tipping point of my life in 2000, I think it was 8 or 9.
Right.
8 or 9. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But that was the time when that transition happened. And then I never thought of looking back and kept continuing and then doing what I'm doing still. Yeah.
It's interesting to hear that because I never knew that there was a point where you almost quit the industry. Do you feel like there has been other moments in your life where you feel like a sign or maybe like a sense of fate has triggered some sort of reaction that has had a positive ripple effect in your life? Is that something that you would usually think, or is that just this one instance where that was a sign, or maybe it's just because you're looking back on it now?
Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying it's 15 years ago, and if I look at it now, like it was purely a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I was maybe in that rough patch of bad mindset
Right.
where my performance was lacking, exams and all those things on my head and stuff, and then as soon as I said, nothing changed. I was still a bad performer till lunchtime, and then my
Yeah.
coach came, and then getting a call at 12 o'clock that the position is no longer. Nothing changed in the 3 hours, and then why did my performance change all of the sudden?
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is a mindset,
Right.
and mindset can take you to places. Mindset can take you to do wonders and makes you believe. At the end of the day, I want to do something where I'm happy.
Right.
I don't want to do something where I'm not happy or I'm forced to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so uh and the gut feeling as well. Gut feeling is something I go always with, because when you think with the brain so many times, it might give you answer yes and no, and those signs will come.
Right.
But gut feeling, actually, your instincts, which we got learned to doing in fundraising, but gut feeling actually takes you to trust more people.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, with that, you did say multiple times mindset, which I think is key to motivation.
Yeah.
One thing that I've struggled with quite a bit now, we had a conversation about this other day, and so I have insight on a little bit of what you're going to say here. But obviously, when you've reached a point money-wise where money's not really a motivator, how do you continue to motivate yourself, especially now that you have 5 businesses? I think that's the number you said the other day, 5 businesses.
Yeah.
What is it that you do to keep motivating yourself, to keep moving forward when that's not one of the things that drive you anymore?
See, I would say the strength, again, as I said, knowing people
Mm-hmm.
and understanding them and respecting each other's relationship made me grow,
Mm-hmm.
made me understand, and still, as I said, I'll keep continuing that regardless whatever number of businesses I have. We do want to be successful at the end of the day, and why do people work hard is to either see financially, or they want to see themselves there and stuff, or whatever reason. But money will, as I said, remain always key element of success. At the end of the day, if you're successful, people might ask you, how have you done it?
Right.
People do ask me still that, how are you able to manage or juggle this many things? What time do you sleep? What time do you wake up? How long do you work? What is your work pattern? So again, I don't take those things in my head too much. I never think of that, because I know it's built by me. It's something what I have done it,
Mm-hmm.
and makes me to keep continuing doing that is keeping myself that people around me are positive. People around me is no one's gonna hurt me.
Yeah.
People around me are the best, and that's what actually keeps me going. Because at the end of the day, as I said, whatever you do, you have to deal with people,
Right.
and that's what I don't take a stress with. That this, oh my god, I have to deal with this person. I never take that. I do meet, as I said, in industry, many people and stuff. Some of them has pros, cons, and stuff. I try to pick it up, whatever I want to,
Right.
and try to keep continuing what I'm doing. So vision remains the same. You don't want to lose your vision, what you want to be. But again, going with the flow is something I would like to add in this. I like to keep it simple and go with the flow.
Right.
It's like when you're on the freeway.
Okay.
Once you get into freeway, your speed is maybe 50, 60, 70. And once if it's a zone of that 100, you'll keep continuing with that zone. And I like to keep it that way, because you will learn a lot with time if you
Mhm.
keep it simple. Like, amount of the people I deal with every day is, I can tell you, more than 50 or 100. But again, thinking back that this is what I have chose to do it, this is what I have done it, this is what I have built.
Mhm.
So I don't think that it should hurt that where it's leading you. I always look forward to it, that at the end of the day this might uncover something else. Like most of the business, as I said, it has started from conversations.
Right.
A restaurant business started in a conversation with my close friend, where he shared his experience in the industry and stuff, and then we talked, and I said, let's do it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, as I said, it's about keeping it simple, and the thought process, as I said, is who you're gonna deal with. And again, you try to complex the situation, that will make the situation hard.
Right.
So what I said earlier as well, try to not stretch your problems. Stretching your problems will screw other things up,
Mhm.
which are going better. So if it happened negative, loss happened, take it happily and move forward. Yeah.
So what I'm sensing from what you said there, it's weirdly not the exact same answer of what you said the other day, but from what you expanded on there, it's more about keeping life simple and maybe enjoying / making the lives of people in your life better.
Yeah.
I can speak, for example, the things that you've done for my life personally, and I've seen what you've done for other people.
Yeah.
So
But
would you say that's part of it, is
that's
helping
what I said.
make
Like,
people's
see,
lives
yeah,
better?
exactly. So see, what we had discussed the other day was like more about people, knowing
Yeah.
people and understanding them, and simplifying the situations.
Mm.
That's the shortest way, I would say, to keep yourself away from problems.
Yeah.
And again, don't get into it in something which you don't want to,
Right.
unless, as I said, it's a part of business, which is a business problem. That's fine, but don't get something which makes the situation complex,
Yeah.
because there will be sometimes when you're dealing with someone, it might get rolled to complex situation where it
Right.
was not even supposed to have those kind of conversations, So don't get into those ones, and keeping the relationship is the big thing,
Right.
Yeah, that makes your 50% of life easier.
So I think you just answered the next thing I sort of wanted to ask, but I'm going to just phrase this out there because it will help with the next question I'm going to ask in regards to that. So when it comes to managing stress and chaos that comes from, running the 5 businesses that you have, clearly it's the people and keeping things simple.
Yeah.
But do you have any specific routine systems or tools that allow you to keep it simple, that allow you to help manage these people and relationships better? Is there any systems or routines in place?
So routines, as I said, like my day starts with work and ends with work. So I would not say I have any specific routine when
Mhm.
it comes to work. But tools, as I said, there are so many tools which we use day in, day out for making the life easier for and try to improvise the situations, like multiple businesses, what I have. Try to learn that how can we reduce this process? How can we try to be more efficient?
Mhm.
How can we have less losses? Because running a restaurant, I never learned, first of all, I've never studied hospitality or anything. And then, but again, when we opened it and stuff, dealing with customer, I thought it's just face-to-face fundraising. So I link up the things.
Right.
So, but answering to your tools thing is, I don't have any specific tools which I use for any specific business, but every business has some kind of technical support
Right.
or technical things which makes your life easy, which we use it day in, day out for any businesses.
Mhm.
But assigning task is the big thing. Like what my wife says is, if people assign to do what job, they're assigned to do, it will make life easier for everyone.
Right.
And I take that very seriously, because when you're running 150 people in all the businesses, at the end of the day, if I'm giving a task to someone and then you are able to do that task, continue that task. If mistakes will happen here and there, but keeping it simple, and if you are doing the things what you need to do, makes the business easier.
Right.
And as I said, accept the mistakes, There are people late, there are people who doesn't show up to work and stuff. There are things which I take it myself. I have done it in my life. So people are doing it now. So again, keeping it practical, sit down with people. Why do you have issues? Take the things out of that. They might be having XYZ personal reason or something, and they're going through it. So trying to learn from the thought process of them that, okay, this mistake happened. It should not happen again. Or if it's going to happen, just let me know.
Right. Would you say in dealing with people's mistakes, again, it comes down to understanding that person? Because I'd say that's something that I've struggled with when people have stressed me out a lot over as you know, from business. But accepting preemptively that they're going to make mistakes, and then when they do, trying to get a better understanding of their situation so you can maybe address the problem more specific to them. Is that sort of what you're saying there?
Yeah, so it's again case by case, So because you are dealing with, in our business, we deal with different kind of employees who come with different backgrounds and stuff. And it's, if someone making XYZ mistake,
right,
our role is to observe those mistakes. Our role is to accept those mistakes. If we do two things, what I believe, that mistakes does happen, and accepting those mistakes, and trying to sit with that person that how can you not do this mistake again? Because often people, when they go to the manager level or boss level or something, that's why I said to the team first that don't consider me as a boss. I am someone who want to be with you and teach you things. So that you are doing, the first thing is impression in people's mind that, okay, there is someone at my back looking.
Right.
If I need anything, someone is there. That itself will make people to do less mistakes.
Right.
And even often they do it, which people do. As I said, humans, I do mistakes. But he will come to you that this is what has happened. Because in business, sometimes mistakes can lead you to losses. In any business, for fundraising or real estate or anything, what I do, at the end of the day, any mistakes happens can lead you to losses. But was that mistake addressed?
Right.
Did you accept that? Yes. Did you try to solve it? And how did you solve it with that person, and respecting each other?
Right.
Because once you don't disrespect, and once you become like, oh, why did you do this? And this is going to lead me to this much loss, and this is not good, and whatever reason, what you're doing is you're making that person to look smaller.
Right.
And this is what I don't do it. Even if the mistake is there, accept that mistake.
Right.
Move forward to it. And if again happens, try to see why it happened. And then try to resolve it in that way that it will never happen.
Right.
But once you accept it, things will become easier. Once you don't accept things, like when we want to buy something, and if we don't like, we will not buy.
Right.
But once you accept it, or that, oh, I want to buy this, I like it, we will buy it. Why we trial clothes when you go and buy clothes?
Yeah.
Because you accepted that, okay, it looks good on me, I like it. So that's how it is at the end of the day. Some people might think that cloth doesn't look good on you, but you accepted it, liked it and stuff. So you move forward with that.
Fair enough. I don't know if I can really see the stress of the trying on the clothes together, but I think I get the general message that you're saying there. Now, obviously, as I've mentioned multiple times, you have about 5 different businesses that you're currently working on. Do you have any new projects in the works that you're excited about?
Well, we just recently, as I said, started this spices business,
Mhm.
which is making me thrilled that it's growing as we want,
Right.
and it's going the direction where it needs to go. But again, for me, business is something, whatever comes in my path. Now I've reached to that stage that I know I can do multiple businesses. I know I can fail businesses.
Yeah.
That this has happened in one of them. At the end of the day, it's not a failure, but it was an experience which happened and which led to COVID, and that's why it was a failure. But what I can tell you is accepting the new businesses or challenges with the businesses and stuff,
Yeah.
I take it now very easy,
Mhm.
or whatever comes in the path, because meeting new people, meeting new networks of people within the restaurants or the businesses with spices now, it's getting more broader spectrum, that there's so much else to do it.
Right.
So again, I wouldn't fear of adding another businesses, so I don't see it as a limit of how many businesses I can do.
Right.
But one thing, as I said, I like to be in the time zone now where I can manage the things properly, because mental strength is more important.
Yeah.
So that is something which I look now, because adding this many elements, mental health is very important when
Mhm.
you are not losing your temper or anything. So that is something which I keep now very important myself. And
Yeah.
there are people who understands that as well, that I like to keep myself as a mental strength more stronger than before, because it's getting more exposure out there doing businesses and learning from it and stuff. And yeah, this is, I would say, the best I would say when it comes to business, and not taking any stress and try to add more businesses, and
Yeah.
don't fear anything. Yeah.
So in other words, no starting a business in Canada, and that'll make for way more or less sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Stick to the time zones we have here.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you've thought like far into the future, 10, 20 years. I know you have for real estate, but is there any venture that you can see yourself doing far into the future that obviously you haven't maybe taken any step towards now, but in 10, 15 years you'd like to be doing?
Not really, to be honest. If I be very honest, I like to do what I'm currently doing.
Yeah.
Because when you sometimes forecast a lot, why do people think of, okay, when do I retire?
Right.
Which in my book, I would never.
Right.
Because my dad is 72, still business, running and doing it the best he can.
Right.
And that's my lead example. My brother travels across India and stuff and does the multiple businesses as
Mhm.
well in the sports industry. So something which I'll take it from them, and something which I can take it, those are my roots. So I don't see too far. If you ask me that question, that okay, so where would you like to see in 15 years retirement or whatever it is, if I can do a business at 50, 40, 37 right now, I can do a similar or more experience at 40 or 50 or 60.
Yeah.
My dad thinks still the same. He's 72 and still he can do the businesses and gets the projects where he is right now. And what he thinks is he can do it. Anything which comes to him, there is never a no.
Mhm.
So there will be, I can tell you, other businesses. Hopefully, if it comes on my path, I will do it. But I'll keep continuing the best I can, or whatever I'm currently doing, to get more finer in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you say there's like an optimal time frame to look forward to? Like after a certain point, it's sort of not worth looking at, like, just 1 year in the future, 2, 3. Is there a point where you feel like you're getting diminishing returns? Like it's almost too hard to plan for?
Well, if I got your question right, I feel when you start any business, as I said, it takes a time for return.
Mm-hmm.
It takes time to understand, first of all, that how you can do better.
Right.
Like fundraising. So I started in 2007 and it's 18, 19 years now.
Yeah.
So everything has its time, and unless if it's, as I said, real estate, which can give you a faster return. But again, investments and things are higher
Mm-hmm.
on that side. So answering to your question, again, as I said, there's no time limit. I would keep
Right.
it. But in business, you need to see the element of risk, how much you're investing,
Mm-hmm.
what it can get you back. And if it gives you back in the return of time, what you want, let's say 2 years, 3 years, or whatever it is, then it's always good to do something which is getting better and better by day.
Yeah.
And there will be obstacles, there will be losses and stuff which you have to accept. And yeah, which is part of business. At the end of the day, no businesses are run on profits.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everyone would do that business. So yeah, I wouldn't set any time frame, but just go with see how businesses are rolling. Yeah.
So more in proportion to the time that you're putting into the endeavor, whatever it is, rather than just a generic time frame.
Yeah, generate. Yeah.
Okay. Now, obviously, we've definitely figured out your biggest strength is dealing with people. Have you found, obviously, a different strength? Let's not continue with this, but has there been a time where you've built a strength from scratch? And if so, what was one of these and how did you go about doing it? So something that maybe you were not very good at and you've been able to develop that one specific skill into now what might be a strength for you.
Dealing with people, which I would say.
But do you have something other than dealing with people?
Managing, as I said, managing your finance, something which is I would touch as well, that
Mm-hmm.
I learned from the scratch.
Right.
Because when I came, as I said, I had international school fees and managing the funds and stuff and how to maximize the funds.
Right.
That is, I would say, I love spending money on the things which I love and traveling or whatever luxury things which I like. But learning from scratch, I would say, is managing the funds because, again, I had a solid background. My family is well-to-do and stuff. But I wanted to do something without anyone's support,
Mm-hmm.
which I did it. So something from scratch, if you ask me, it's managing the finance. And because one business leads to other and other business has to think, where is that finance coming from?
Right.
So it's like passing the parcel, The A comes to B and B comes from C and stuff,
Is there, I feel like most people when it comes to learning finance and how to manage their money, they do learn it from books and stuff like that, unless they have a good parental figure that sort of showed them ways. Like I'm quite frugal with my money and it's definitely because of the way I was raised with my father. I'm not sure what it was like since you say your family was in a fairly good situation.
Yeah.
But was there anywhere where you learned these lessons from, or was it just trial and error and realizing, if I spend money like this, it's going to be a really bad future. If I smarten up in other ways, it might lead to a more success?
Well, not really, to be honest. Spending money, I've never thought of it.
Yeah.
Giving you an example, was an international student. I had $1,200 with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought home $900 music system and the TV.
Really good use of.
I still remember my
75%
best
of your
friend
money.
telling me, "Why did you spend that money?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I liked it." So at the end of the day, and I
Good
wanted
sound system.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess,
that's
it
good.
was- yeah. And then I never used that after a couple of months. So this is something, as I said, never regret things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if that's something what makes you happy, just do it. And again, see, it takes how you want to take it to.
Right.
When I started fundraising as a business, as a job, and as a business, my role was to make sure. When I did it as a job, it was that I am able to live my day-to-day living.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ask my parents. That was my first condition. I don't want to ask my parents to send me money. which touch wood, they've never done it.
Right.
After I left first time to Australia, they paid my first semester fee and the couple of 2,000 or something dollars which they gave me to come here.
Mhm.
After that, never seen back, and I wanted to be myself.
Right.
So that's why I said management of money made me learn from businesses
Mhm.
as well, and what I need, what I'm responsible for. Like in school, I was responsible for fees and my day-to-day living. And then starting the business, how can I make the foundation strong? That at least having a capital with me, if I see the 3 months of losses,
Yeah.
I'm able to cover those losses. Yes, the answer should be always there. Because in business, you need to accept the worst scenario.
Mhm.
Once you accept the worst scenario, then you'll be able to make it more better, because it will make you, that mind will make you think that what can you do better.
Mhm.
And that cushioning of mindset will help you to make you more money as well. Because once you know back of the mind, if I have X amount of money, I'm going to lose it in 3 months if everything goes bad.
Right.
It's okay. But my abilities will not.
Right.
My strengths will not. So one thing you are training your mind is accept the worst thing.
Right.
And then I kind of, as I mentioned earlier, I go with the flow. I started with small team, and I went with my gut feeling to Canberra, and I started from there. Again, that was accident as well. I was in Perth, where I started my business.
Right.
Went to see Sydney, where I had my things to pack and stuff, and then I decided to go on a travel trip to Canberra, and then I loved it, and I fell in love with that city.
Right.
And until now, we have our major operations running there. So that became a foundation of my life, that okay, this is where I started, and then grow to other cities and stuff, and try to maximize the returns.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So going back to your strength of managing relationships, I think we have a good understanding of how it's helped you in your
Yep.
life, but obviously it's something that, a lot of people do struggle with. So what would be some advice you would give to people who are struggling with maintaining strong connections?
You mean to say in personal life, or you mean
Personal life, business, in general, like I think any advice you could give, I think does sort of translate to both personal and business. There might be small differences, but
I would say the biggest thing is don't make any situation complex.
right,
If you know that you have done anything wrong, accept it.
right.
If you know the opposite person has done anything wrong, accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, accepting each other's values, I would say, will make you more stronger. And you will have more better relationships with
Mm-hmm.
your partners as well, or your wife, or your business partners, or anything. Because once you know someone's boundaries, once you know someone's strength, like we've known each other from
5
maybe
years?
more than around 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't remember we had ever any arguments or anything.
No, I don't think we have had any
Yeah.
arguments. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's which will never happen. But why it happened is, at the end of the day, I know you respect your work,
Mm-hmm.
and you respect my work level of work.
Mm-hmm.
We came this far and stuff. At the end of the day, you have never complained anything. I have never complained anything and stuff, and things are going smooth. So why not? Don't make anything complex. There will
Right.
be things sometimes which you might not like it, and you have to accept it, that okay, at the end of the day, it's not going to work it out if it's
Right.
a business. So if it's a personal life or anything, understanding the values, keeping it simple, and then try to make yourself to think that okay, what if I was Kyle?
Mm-hmm.
What if I was someone who, what would be my reaction?
Right.
Because anger management, what is, when people say the relationship or their friendship or their business relationship got finished or went south because of only one or two things, because of ego
Right.
or your anger. If you can't control those two, you cannot build a relationship.
Right.
Because ego and anger, you have to keep it aside if you want to meet more people or learn more people or understand or get to work together.
Yeah.
Because you will not get everything what you want in life, but at the end of the day, if you keep ego and anger aside, it will make your job much easier to become closer to anyone. Yeah.
Right. One thing you said there, so I would 100% agree, taking responsibility for your own actions, your own mistakes. I think everybody should be doing that.
Yeah.
I think it is a harder thing to do to accept other people's mistakes, especially when it impacts you in a negative way. So how do you go about accepting people for the mistakes that they've made and not let it turn into anger? And
Okay, if I ask you one question, be genuine to it. Anyone's mistake, is it the end of the world for you?
no, never.
That's it. That's what it is for me.
Yeah.
And we know you are not flawless.
Right.
No one is flawless at the end of the day. So if you accept two things, that Kyle is never going to be 100% or Bhavik is never going to be 100%,
Right.
that's first thing. And then if you do a mistake, if I do a mistake, at the end, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
That's where, in between those two things, is the anger and ego.
Knowing that it's not the end of the world.
Exactly. Because when someone makes a mistake, either the first reaction is, why?
Yeah.
Why to me? You know?
Yeah.
You should have told me or whatever, XYZ. But you just say yourself first thing, like in fundraising. When someone says objection,
Mm-hmm.
we don't walk away from people. No, we don't. We know the sign-ups will only come if you fight
Well,
objection.
that's sales though in general. If you just walk away, you'll never get a sale in your life.
Exactly. So as I
yeah.
said, that's not end of the world. When someone says, I don't want to give, I'm giving to 10 charities, that's not the
Mhm.
end of the world. You would have
Right.
signed up so many people who are doing multiple charities.
Yeah.
And that's what answers your question at the end of the day. As I said, no errors or no judgments or no mistakes are end of the world, you know.
Right.
And you have to accept as well that person has done 100 things good for you first.
Definitely.
Then why you didn't jump at that time and say anything too good about it? Why one thing bad? You're trying to say it's why, you know, relationship. So never question things.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, as I said, mistakes will be a part of life, you know, and we accept that, and people trying to, and that automatically will build the opposite person trust in you.
Yeah.
Though, if you accept someone's mistake, it'll make you more stronger
Yeah.
in someone's mind as well. That okay, that if anything in future again happens, he will come and resolve it by himself. You know. Yeah.
I honestly think that's a really good way of putting it. It's not the end of the world. So if they do make a mistake, life's going to continue on.
Yeah.
Honestly, in
And
a few
find a
days or
solution.
weeks or months time, you won't even
Find a
think of it.
solution together.
Mhm.
You know, like
Yeah.
don't leave it again. Don't stretch the topic.
Yeah.
Don't take it too long. Okay, finish it. That's it. Done.
Mhm.
You know, like me and anyone at the end of the day, mistakes do happen with me.
Yeah.
I don't say, oh, that why did you do this? Like someone asking me to do something and I forget or something. At the end of the day, as I said, accept it. It
Yeah.
happened. But understanding each other's respect that, okay, this will not happen again. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, continue on from another thing that you just mentioned there about fundraising, and then I sort of put sales out there. I do think of all the people I've met in the sales world. You are one of the best salespeople I've met. Obviously, you've probably had many highs and lows in it, but what would you say is one of your proudest moment in sales or fundraising that you've had in your life?
Well, proudest is that I'm still the highest fundraiser who has raised the donation for UNHCR as an
Mhm.
individual
Yeah.
fundraiser. So that's my proudest.
Maybe one day I'll pass you.
We'll see. You'll see me on the field again. Yeah. So yeah, but like, I wish at the end of the day, as I said, the impact what we bring in the job, what we
Yeah.
do, that makes us proud. First of all, as I said, fundraising is something we do feel proud about at the end of the day. What we do. you
Yeah.
know. So that's something which I always keep on my head. That at least what I've done is the hard work
Mhm.
of signing up that many people in my life, and this is what it has reached to.
Yeah.
That makes me feel the most proud, I feel. But yeah, with life or businesses and stuff, it's not about pride, it's just about what you can do. Yeah.
So the impact sort of that it's
Yeah.
made, and obviously when it comes to UNHCR and refugees'
Yeah.
lives.
Exactly.
Now, obviously, a lot of people probably find sales quite challenging, and there's a lot of skills and tools that people should develop to become better at sales in general. And different areas too. Obviously, it can be in business. It can be, when you're interviewing for a job. It can be just in your day-to-day life. We actually use sales more than most people would imagine. What would you say are some of the most important skills and tools people should focus on developing?
For sales, first of all, it's you and me. We both know it's a mindset.
Mhm.
Any good fundraiser or any good salesman or any sector, like any businesses, mindset is the first thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have your mindset, if you don't have your vision, you wouldn't do it at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And then learning from others is the biggest thing
Right.
in sales, because everyone has a different sales technique. I have worked with you, I have worked with other best fundraisers as well in my life, and or the ones which are new
Mhm.
in the industry. But I always learned from them, that I've picked something and I have used it in my way, how I can use it for sales.
Right.
It's not just fundraising, but anything else as well. Because when you learn from multiple people, it will help you
Mhm.
to improvise yourself, and it will simplify your sales technique as well. Because sales is something where you have to constantly be positive.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. And then that helps to keep the job simple as well.
Mhm.
If you remain positive when you start your day, if you're happy and positive, the day will smooth.
Right.
They will be with you. They will be going as per how you want, even though if you not ending up getting any sale or something. But if your mindset was positive that day, that's it. Because I stepped on the field with you the other day. My
Yeah.
mindset was to get something out of it and try to, and as I said, it took me a little bit rusty because I haven't done for a while, a little bit fundraising, but my mindset was strong that I can still do it.
Right.
And the energy for me was to keeping it how I used to keep it before. And mental strength actually helps you. So sales is something keeping your mental strength as per your vision, that if you want to become this, you need to get this.
Right.
Another thing is negativity around. Avoid it.
Right.
You might have your personal problems, or you might have your financial problems, or any other problems you will have, but don't take it to work. I'll give you a biggest example of who is the best fundraiser for me in Australia, just
Yeah.
Rahim.
Yeah.
A best example I can give. He has multiple problems in life. Taking care of family is his priority. So, and his family is big, and at the end of the day, one thing he doesn't take his personal thing when he goes to field.
Right.
And his mindset, which he never gets off track with. Regardless if it's COVID, or regardless if he's little bit unfit or something, or regardless the situation, weather or anything, there will be no excuse from him
Mm-hmm.
that why I didn't get a sale today.
Yeah.
And the way he keeps his mindset positive, that is something which I still sometimes don't understand, that given any situation or any task, he will not end with what he wants to get.
Right.
And same thing, as I said, applies to you or the other best fundraiser I have is Bookie. That age, the energy she drives and stuff, people would sign up because of that.
Right.
And it's your charm at the end of the day. When you step on the field, if you are positive, things will happen. And even again, I always tell to the teams as well, even if you end on 0 on a day,
Mm-hmm.
if you're not disappointed, that means you have done well. If you're disappointed, that means you might have lost a track, or you might have not put any efforts, or you might have lost your momentum.
Right.
But even in a good day, why do we, first of all, when we have a good day, we know that things have gone easy? It's because we kept the mindset constantly happy. We know that, okay, this happened, second, third, fourth, fifth happened. In a given a week, your best is 64, you said.
Yeah.
How that week has passed, it's with that positive mindset.
Right.
Like, I still remember in my peakest time, the fundraise until full-time until 2018, 19. In my peakest time, 2013 to 2016, I used to wake up and say, today I'm getting 5.
Right.
That was my first words, will you believe me? And
No, I totally believe that, because
And-
there was times in my life where it was exactly the same thing. It was maybe not the moment I wake up in bed, but
no, trust me,
it's like within the first hour, I make it know what I'm hitting that day, and usually I would hit it.
No, I like when everything was gone, there was no study things, and I was 100% dedicated to this. I will wake up myself, and first thing
Yeah.
which will come to my mind is how many I'm getting today.
Yeah.
And it happened for a very long time until I was, as I said, until the more responsibilities and more people started working and all other things started.
Mm-hmm.
But the example of saying this here is that mindset. And again, I would tell people is not being late on work will always give you a best performance.
Being on time.
On time or before time,
Yeah.
it always helps your performance in sales.
Yeah.
Whenever you're late, your mindset would be thinking or worrying about so many things that you are late. What will the staff think? What will the boss think? What will people think? But if you're coming on field, let's say 15 minutes earlier, grabbing your coffee. This is what I used to do.
Yeah.
I used to be on the field 8:30, buy my coffee, sit down, see the flow, see people's mood. Don't stop anyone for first 5, 10, 15 minutes. And then start my day. Okay, this is what people think today is. And give my first pitch according to that. And that's what I've done in my peak days at the end of the day. And you might struggle first few hours and it might not work, but you just keep your mindset positive, and then at the end of the day, things will happen.
Yeah.
If it's gonna happen until 5 o'clock, you're there,
Yeah. I think I have obviously a different system for getting my day started, but I do think having that time for a bit of like mindfulness, like I often do like a gratitude exercise, I do some meditation, things like that. Lately I've been doing the ice baths. But I think all these things are positive tools. And when I was at my peak, I was doing this every single, like anytime I was on a road trip, I would always make sure I have a very set routine, and it didn't matter where I was, that was always happening. So I think that is a really good thing that people can take away, to put yourself in the mindset, have a routine that'll constantly bring you back to that same point. So that way every single day you're able to perform at that highest level. So even if you don't have the skills, if you just put yourself in that mindset, it will help you compensate for the lack of skills. Now, in that whole span of things, you did talk about learning from others and being open-minded to learning from people who actually have less skills than you, because they might be having just a little missing puzzle piece that could, take you to that completing the full puzzle, although there should always be room for growth. So let's say this puzzle never can be completed. But how do you approach learning from other people?
A is never feel you're high or you're never low.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is same. And B is that the strengths what you have is someone else's strengths are different.
Yeah.
In sales or anything in life, when you learn something to adapt, like I said, when I came to Australia when I was 18, never did any work in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
doing the first job as a face-to-face fundraiser made me learn, as I said, and adapt the things. Once you learn from others and you make yourself feel that he is not superior or I am not superior, that will first of all make your life easier to understand and learn from others.
Right.
Like in our job, we say objection handling and stuff. I had no skills of selling, but at the end of the day, I've learned the objection handling from the strongest people who were around me. And that objection handling has made my life so easier now
Mm-hmm.
dealing with people.
Right.
Because objection handling is dealing with people's reaction. So once you learn from someone, you try to improvise and change it in your way, that how it will work. If you copy, it will not work.
Right.
Learning from others in any job, if it's IT or anything, you try to learn things from your workmates or anyone, implement it your way.
Right.
Because what you are doing is you're picking it from someone else and try to make it work in your sense. Because let's say if you and me work, we have different techniques of working.
Right. Definitely.
But whenever you are dealing with people or whenever you trying to close people or try to make a final move or sale, I pick that strength from it, that this was a trigger point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I see how can I use that trigger point in my pitch, in my sales techniques. So this is what I would say when it comes to learning from others, that don't feel any inferior complex with anyone, that okay, he's superior or I am superior.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, someone might be like I can tell you, some of them are natural born salespeople,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them had to be ignited to become a salespeople.
Right.
So fearing from that, okay, what if that person, because that's another thing comes into my mind, is when fundraisers say that, oh, what if I copy for someone's style, it might not work.
Right.
You're not copying, you are trying to learn the techniques. There's a difference between copying and learning from things.
Yeah.
Copying means you're making it 100%, but it can't be you. Sales is something why do people buy things? It's because of you.
Yeah.
Why do people donate? As I said, it's because of you.
Now, one thing that you did mention in there is not taking what somebody does and replicating it word for word, but making it sort of your own. However, I think that's slightly easier said than done when you're experienced like us. Just learning, like we had a conversation when I was struggling a couple of weeks back, and you made some suggestions and of how I should just adjust things slightly, implemented those things, and it worked great. But when you have somebody who is new to sales and hasn't quite figured it out on their own, how would somebody in that situation apply skills that they haven't quite mastered? Would you say it is better for them to try to replicate it word for word, and then as they become more comfortable to make small tweaks, or still just make it their own from the get-go, but then they might just be missing some of the key components?
No, I wouldn't, because as I mentioned, the moment you tell someone to copy, even in the initial stage, they will never learn fundraising.
Right.
Like my training style when I'm training new people is, I teach them techniques, I teach them style, I teach them product knowledge,
Right.
but I then tell them, build your pitch first.
Right.
Because whenever a new salesperson or any field, not just
Yeah.
fundraising, but any field, when you're starting, it's your learning phase.
Hmm.
You have to accept it that you can do this job.
Right.
That's the first thing. Second thing is how others are doing it.
Right.
Third thing, again, as I said, is how can I implement how they are doing it and catch the positive things and try to learn and put it in my pitch. Because personality is everyone's different.
Right.
Like, if I can be able to get my sale with my energy level, why do I need to be more energetic like someone else
Yeah.
and go wrong? Because I might not be in the right mindset of talking to people when
Mhm.
the energy is that high and stuff, you know. So for the new salespeople, the advice I would like to give is learn from the processes.
Right.
Any errors or any rejections when you get when it comes to any sales, ask yourself and blame yourself. Why did that not person sign up? I always blame myself. That's
Yeah.
what my coach has always told me, that blame yourself when you don't get a sign up.
Yeah.
Because when you blame yourself, you are hurting your internal ego to crack you down to become more better.
Yeah.
Because there's no one else. You're not pointing fingers to anyone that because of you, Kyle, I didn't get a sign up. But
Yeah.
you're telling inside that that person didn't trust you. I always say when someone doesn't pass, like doesn't sign up or doesn't do any, like doesn't sign up with me, I just tell myself, I think it was you.
Yeah.
I think the credit card objection, or there was no trust.
Yeah.
He didn't trust you. So when you say that things inside of your mind, it will make you understand your mistakes.
Yeah.
And that is what I would say to people who are in sales industry in any field, that every rejection, try to analyze
Yeah.
that why did that happen? It should have not happened if I would have said different way.
Hmm.
So that's the advice I would give to salespeople, new ones in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. I would completely agree with that. It's like taking the ownership of the mistakes, because when you do, then you can actually improve. If you do put it on something external, then it's impossible to. You did actually mention one thing though that I did find quite interesting, but I think it's actually a big difference from the way that you sell versus the way I sell. But it'd be interesting to give this approach in training other people, because from the marketing agency I worked with in Australia, it was very much you follow the script. But I've noticed all your fundraisers have always been sort of not off the cuff. I'm sure they do sort of have a script, but it is their own. And it would be really interesting to see if you never give somebody a pitch right from the get-go, you just do the product knowledge and you just really get them to understand the format of a pitch and, you know, like intro, problem, solution, close, or however it is the model that you want to use, but then get them to create it based off the way they feel it is. But it's that now they have a true understanding of how to sell rather than just learning that objection. And honestly, it would help them in so many different aspects of their life, because then they can apply it to, again, business, sales, interviews, personal, day-to-day life. So I think that honestly is probably one of the biggest takeaways I've got from just that little sales thing there is don't teach people the cookie cutter approach.
Yeah.
Teach
Because
them
the
to learn
moment,
and
as
grow.
I said, I learned that I was trained in fundraising for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I was told that it's a fundraising job, which I didn't knew.
Yeah.
I thought it must be some office computer job or something. And then the training was literally 10 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch card was in front of me. This is what you need to do. This is what your job is. And then believe that you can do this.
Right.
Because as I said, my coach personality was something different, that at the end of the day, his words, you have to make it work.
Right.
And that's what I tell people as well. At the end of the day, the task which is given to you is to go out there and get whatever is your target.
Yeah.
But if I teach you right now how to pitch, you might go on the field and even might forget the name of the charity.
Right.
But I always tell them in the first try when they're doing it, I don't want 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to just speak and structure. I'll give you 30 minutes. I always give 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Take your time. And even when I come back and say, are you guys ready? When you guys are ready, I will give you enough time.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say they are ready, I tell them to start. And I just tell them, now you have your notes right. Just keep the notes down. Say what comes from your heart. And I can tell you when people have written things, when you write problems, when you write something on paper, it simplifies half of your problem in life.
Right.
Because your mind is trained such a strong thing that writing problems means you have to solve those problems. Often we think so many problems are there, but we don't solve all those problems.
Mm-hmm.
But if you try in life writing problems, in my notes you will find only problems.
Yeah.
In my business meetings, I only note down, to be honest, problems.
Problems.
Because I know my mind that if I write down problems, I can solve them.
Find the solutions.
Yeah. So that's when I tell them that you give your pitch, don't worry about any judgmental mistakes or anything.
Yeah.
You just go with your flow what you can. And then I judge each person in the training
Mm-hmm.
and make them to give another try and try to tell them to write it down. These are the things I note down. This is where you can make those changes.
Right.
This is where your flow was bad. This is where then they will understand that, oh yeah. And another thing I do is if I'm training 5 people, everyone gets turn.
Yeah.
I ask them, before me giving any feedback, I make them superior. What did he do wrong?
Right.
It's your first time. You have not even given a pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm judging you what he has done wrong.
Oh, it's sort of like they do say it's you learn sometimes better by teaching than you do by doing.
Exactly. So when the third or fourth guy's turn comes, they will learn from already those mistakes.
Right.
That A did this mistake, B will not do that mistake. A and B that did mistake, C will not do. So this is how I run my fun training to make it accountable of their own words.
Yeah.
And I tell them, now you just go home and practice and just think that what you can say when you go on the field first day.
Yeah.
This will be a complete different exposure when you go out. Because trainings are, if they're more interactive,
Mm-hmm.
people will learn more.
Right.
If you just make it a strict training where
Information.
people will not able to download
Yeah.
it. I have done that,
Yeah.
but the flops.
It's totally true. When you're more ingrained in what you're doing and you're enjoying the process and you're having fun and it's interactive, which when it's just information overload, it's never fun. So
Yeah. So yeah, I would say that.
yeah. Very cool. Well, we are getting quite long into this. So I'm just going to have one more quick question. So we'll try to answer quick and then I'll have you just try to summarize up the biggest takeaways from this. But the last question I'll leave this with is, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Remain positive. Believe you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is, as I said, going to be an impossible task.
Yeah.
And build as many networks of relations or as many network of friends or business relations you can, because you never know what might work.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know where it will work. Sometimes my conversations, as I mentioned, is leading nowhere, but I try to keep those conversations stored in my brain that where can I use it in future.
Yeah.
So, as I said, try to be simple. Try to, as I said, never have ego or anger. Try to have your anger control if you cannot.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said, keep it simple and go with the flow here.
Well, then I think that actually wraps up the next question as well, because I think I was going to ask you next is what would you summarize out of the 3 major takeaways from today's conversation. And so just reiterating back to you, it's go with the flow, focus on relationships,
Yep.
and stay positive.
Yep.
Is there anything else you would add to that?
I think these are the three major things. And as I said, never fear of failure.
Mm-hmm.
Never fear of what will happen if this goes wrong.
Right.
You know? Except that you have strength to do it. That's it. That's what my mom said at the end of the day. Never fear of anything. It will happen. That's
Yeah.
what I used to be a very child when I used to be like scared with any small things even, and that's what my dad used to say. Never fear. Fear will always remains constant,
Yeah.
but accepting fear will make you stronger.
I think that's a beautiful message. Clearly, your parents have given you some wise words in your earlier years.
Thank you.
Well, with that, I just want to thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
the first guest on the Kyle Mackie
that was
podcast.
my first podcast as well, so it was
Yeah.
good.
It was great. You were a legend on the mic.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think even myself, I was able to take away things from that. I learned new things about you, and especially actually when we got into the sales, I think I actually even learned a few things in there, which is great because even having been doing
As I said,
sales for
every
15 years.
no conversations are useless at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Every conversation leads you to A to B. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was very insightful, and hopefully the audience as well was able to take things away from this. So ultimately, if this episode did light a fire under you or gave you even just one idea, I want you to run with it. And so here's your challenge. It's essentially just to take action today, pick up one thing you've heard, apply it, and see if it changes your life even in one positive way. I'd love to hear about it. So let me know how it goes in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you want more unfiltered conversations, be sure to like this episode. Or if you know somebody who needs to hear this, we'll share it with them as well. You never know when that ripple effect of just one episode can create a positive impact in somebody else's lives. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, Bhavik, for being here today.
Thank you, Kyle.
And I look forward to having you all back here in 2 weeks' time. So on that note, have yourselves a great couple weeks, and I will be talking all with you guys sometime soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.